Hello, darling, and welcome to Thriller Video. Who am I? I'm that girl you love best with the overdeveloped sense of humor, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And I'm your hostess on your journey into the macabre. As you can plainly see, I got this job on account of my TNA, talents and abilities. Actually, I got the job on account of my special effects, and just in case your VCR doesn't have any special effects, here's what I look like in slow motion. Still pause. And fast forward. Whoa, gotta be careful there. I don't want anything to accidentally pop out. But if something does pop out, it's only because I'm trying to demonstrate a point. Ooh, boy, I tell you, it is not easy being a full-figured gal. I mean, tough going through life with guys only wanting one thing from you. Well, in my case, two things. Okay, now that I've got the obligatory boob jokes out of the way, I'll tell you about the movie. It's called Two Faces of Evil, which makes a lot of sense because I've gone out with guys who had two faces, and believe me, they were all evil. Well, this one starts out, as so many of them do, with your basic normal family. The mom, the dad, and a little rugrat, setting off down the road for your basic normal outing. So they're driving along, singing a song, just having themselves one heck of a good time. Well, look, up ahead, a signpost. Next stop, a Twilight Zone. Or at least somewhere in that same neighborhood. And then, oh, well, I can't really tell you what happens. I mean, I wouldn't want to spoil the movie for you. And besides, I only watched the first minute of this sucker, so I really have no idea what happens after that. But I'll be back after the flick to tell you all about it and, like, explain things for you that you don't get. So if you want the movie to start, just say please. Okay, you asked for it. Thriller Video proudly brings you Two Faces of Evil.
She'll be wearing silk pajamas when she comes, she'll be wearing silk pajamas,
Wearing silk pajamas, wearing silk pajamas when she comes.
Oh, Martin,
When she-
did you check the upstairs view window?
Told you I checked all the windows.
The lock on that window isn't working properly, you know.
Janet, stop fussing.
You're always worrying about something, Mummy.
All right, which way?
What do you mean?
Aren't you the navigator?
Yes?
Come on then, navigate. I'm giving you no help at all. Come on. Something wrong?
Oh,
Left!
Right.
No, left!
Left, right.
No, left!
Right, left. You'd better be right, that's all.
Oh, Daddy!
She'll be coming round the mountains when she comes, she'll be... Hardly see a thing.
Hark!
Good God!
You didn't hit him.
Was he hitchhiking?
I can see him.
On a lift!
He's standing still.
He can get in the back.
No.
David, up in the back. Not going very far, I'm afraid. Where are you heading? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
David. David. Darling. She's awake. My mother's awake. Martin. Martin. Darling.
How are you feeling?
My husband.
He's all right.
Where is he?
No, you're not wearing a dressing gown. Wait here, David, would you? Come along. Your husband had to have an emergency operation last night.
What?
Sit down. There's absolutely nothing to be alarmed about.
What sort of operation?
He had some gas from the windscreen in his throat.
The windscreen?
He was very, very lucky. So are you. Nothing worse than a bad bump on the head and some bruising. The most fortunate thing was that Mr. Roberts went out looking for you in the storm.
How is the... We had another passenger. Martin? Darling?
You mustn't try to talk.
Oh, my poor sweetheart.
Well, you had a piece of glass this long, missed the carotid by a hair's breadth. Otherwise, apart from severe bruising, no structural damage to the throat. He can come off the drip. Now, can you swallow? Hurts a bit, eh? Well, don't worry, old chap. We'll have you out of here in a jiffy.
He should rest more.
Now, it's very important that he doesn't talk for a few days.
Doctor.
Mr. Cummings.
Mr. Cummings, you must realize the cause of those injuries. He was attacked.
Oh, I am sorry. I
Please.
thought a car crash.
If you don't mind, Mrs. Lewis.
We picked up a maniac.
Mrs. Lewis.
He made us crash. Where is he?
I'm afraid
I'm sorry, sir.
I want to know what happened to him.
Mr. Cummings operated on your husband, Mrs. Lewis. He is not acquainted with the circumstances of the accident.
But the cause of those bruises.
And he's extremely busy.
Look, sister, is it really necessary that I...
Absolutely not.
I apologize. Thank you very much for what you've done for my husband. Where are our things? Our suitcases?
They're here, in a storeroom. The police asked us.
The police?
They want to talk to you. I look after David. Now, don't worry. They're waiting for you.
Your husband was driving the car?
Yes.
And you ran into the storm last night?
We picked up a hitchhiker who attacked my husband, causing us to crash.
After the crash, do you have any recollection at all of what happened?
I was unconscious. I woke up in the hospital. What does it mean? David's favorite toy.
Everything was scattered over a wide area.
Everything.
The hospital will lend you some things to wear. It would appear that there'd been a terrible struggle between your husband and the other man.
But Martin...
Your husband was fighting for your lives against a madman.
What kind of creature? He must be found. You'll have to catch him.
That won't be necessary.
What?
We think we already have him.
You think?
We found a body.
Dead?
Yes. It was some distance from the accident. We need you to identify it.
No.
We have to be sure. Unless you can identify it as the hitchhiker, we don't know if it isn't the body of another innocent person.
Where is it? This body?
Here. In the hospital mortuary. If you get dressed, I'll take you down.
I'm sorry. I can't do it.
Why don't you sit down?
I'm sorry.
If you'd rather wait.
Oh, no. It's all right. I can do it.
There's all the time in the world.
I never saw his face.
You might have blanked it out. One look might bring it back. It's a formality.
Never saw him before. Never.
But he was the hitchhiker.
I don't know. His hand. I could identify his hand. He had a long fingernail.
On which hand?
The right.
Are you sure?
Yes. It was the right without question. Uncover it.
We can't.
What?
We don't have the right hand.
What do you mean?
It was severed in the crash. We still haven't found it.
It may have been taken by an animal, a fox or a badger.
Loss of blood at the wrist. That was the cause of death.
Please. Don't touch me, please. Right there. I don't want any help. No, I'm doing it myself.
It's a lovely house. And it's got a thatched roof.
Anything else you need? The shortcut to the farm's up that path there. I try not to bother you. Oh, no.
It never happened, David. It never, ever happened.
Feeling better? Well, come on, back to bed and let's have a look at you. Thank you, sister. That's right. Now, down you go. Good. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Swallow all right? Excellent.
Hello? Yes? Oh, wonderful.
And tomorrow morning, the district nurse will visit to change his dressing. Nurse Davies.
Thank you. It's even better than I imagined. Mrs. Roberts has put flowers in every room.
Look, it's got French windows. And my room's straight through here. I like our car much better than the old one.
Yes. Didn't you notice it? David. Show him what else we found. So whenever you need something, just use this and save your voice. You rang yourself? Come on, darling. You must be exhausted. Shall I leave the light on?
Huh. Guess you couldn't find a pair of nail clippers.
Mummy, why have you got that knife? Shh. We must get dressed as quickly as possible. There's some things I forgot to get. Everything was damaged in the accident, you know. We need some toothbrushes, toothpaste. So we'll take the car. The clothes I borrowed from the hospital will have to be returned, or I shall have to get them cleaned. There may be a place in the village I can get them cleaned. And your hospital pajamas and dressing gown. And some toys for David. Because he must have toys. I saw some toys yesterday in the toy shop. May I have some breakfast?
Well, well, well. Here we all are then. What a business, eh? Now that's what I've come to look at. Face, throat, and hands. Just get rid of this. Now, let's hang this up. There we are. And we'll get on with it, won't we? There we are. Now let's just take a peek, shall we? There we are. That's it. There we are. Now, let's have a look. That's it. Oh, it's a little bit damp. It's a little bit wet, in fact. Air, air, air. That's what I always go on about, lots and lots of air. I think we'll take this right off. That's it. Off it comes. That's it. There we are. Done, done, done. Do you burn your rubbish? You should, you know, especially in this part of the world. Lots of foxes and badgers. Now, all you've got to do is to keep that dry. Keep your head back as much as possible. Otherwise, you get perspiration, you know. Now, your hands. Oh, before I forget, you've got some clothes from the hospital. I promised to collect them.
I was going to get them cleaned.
Oh, I shouldn't worry about that. The hospital has its own laundry. Anyway, there isn't one round here. They must be laundered. Can you fetch them?
Yes, of course.
You poor hands. They look so painful. I hear you weren't wearing your safety belt. You really should be more careful. Oh, my dear. All he needs now is God's clean air. Air and lots of rest. Thank you, my dear. They get so frustrated, you know, when they can't talk. They can get awfully hot and bothered. And on top of the shock, well, it all gets so tiring for them. He's still very weak. Oh, goodbye.
Baby. We're going shopping. We won't be long.
There she is. Mrs. Lewis.
Wait a second.
What's the matter?
I want to see the body.
Yes.
I have to identify it. Just wait there. was my husband.
Your husband?
Mrs. Lewis, I'm sorry. We were given to understand. Mrs. Lewis? Margaret. Yes. Yes. Double check that, will you, please? Thank you. Mrs. Lewis, we're informed that your husband underwent a minor operation. Mr. Cummings was the surgeon.
You say that your husband was discharged and was delivered to your home.
Wasn't Martin.
Mrs. Lewis, are you saying that the man in your house is not your husband? That this is your husband here?
Yes. No.
Then what?
Doctor.
Mrs. Lewis?
He's been taken over.
What? Like a doppelganger, you mean?
What's that?
Well, that's a being from another plane. Like one's own other self, which replaces or duplicates one's own body.
An evil being?
Mrs. Lewis, that's the theory. They're not real. Doppelgangers, pods, and creatures from other worlds. They only exist in fiction.
You sure?
Well, when you've been in this business as long as I have, you learn not to be sure about anything. But in this particular case, I'm as sure as I possibly can be. No. You remember, you've had a very nasty experience, and you've suffered a terrible shock. Well, I'm not a shrink, but I am a doctor. And I know the strange results that can come from the after effects of shock.
But he...
Now, doesn't your husband have any unusual distinguishing marks?
I don't think so.
Hey. Now, what about his teeth?
Martin had beautiful teeth. White, strong, clean.
In that case, this is certainly not your husband.
What?
There can't be his teeth.
If the forces of evil did try to replace him, then they must have failed.
We see.
Oh, I'm such a silly Billy. I thought your daddy was dead.
Martin! Oh, darling. Off you go. I'm going to pour us a good drink. It may take some time, but I can explain everything. I've been so silly. Cheers.
What are you?
Get out your window. Into the car. David, into the car. Oh, thank God. My keys. I've left them in the house. The window! You've left it open! David, listen to me. You must run up to the farm and get Mr. Roberts. No! Yes, it's our only chance. No! Do as I say! Everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be all right. I'll look after you.
What is it? What's the matter, my dear?
Don't let them near me! Good girl. Brave girl.
Poor dear child.
No! No, don't let them near me! It's all right, my dear. You're quite safe now.
Oh, you will stay with me, won't you?
Of course, my dear. I'll stay with you. Oh, no.
Don't go away, darling. I'll be back quicker than you can say boo. Well, I guess the moral of the story is see your dentist twice a year and brush after every meal. The other moral which comes to mind is don't pick up hitchhikers, especially hitchhikers wearing raincoats. I mean, for all you know, the guy could be a flasher, and we all know what flashers stick out when they hitchhike. And the other moral which comes to mind is, heck, I shouldn't be talking about morals. I don't even have any morals. But I don't have anything else to talk about because this movie didn't make sense to me at all. I think maybe I should have a stiff one and try to figure this movie out. Well, maybe I'll just have a drink instead.
It may take some time, but I can explain everything.
Oh, boy, I think that girl had to have one too many, because shortly thereafter, she started seeing double. And was that the weirdest hospital you've ever seen, or what? Did you notice the way that they identified specimens in that joint?
Oh, no.
Hey, didn't you ever think of writing the patient's name on the cup with a magic marker? Well, I guess that was what you call a free clinic, because it was completely free of doctors. Mr. Cummings did the operation. No, he's not a doctor, but he's got a friend whose brother knows somebody who once talked to one. Anyway, that big guy reminded me of the first guy I ever had a first time with. He was real tall, and he didn't say much, and he had this real long fingernail. Hey, do you remember your first time?
I was unconscious.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sure. Boy, I've used that old line before. Oh, gee, I don't remember a thing. Let me tell you, I never forget a thing, even though there were a few things I would like to forget. Anyway, I've done my thing, but I'll be back on more thriller videos like Growing Pains.
After their child dies due to an accidental poisoning, the parents adopt a boy who possesses strange powers.
We'll call him Harry.
me.
And their son returns only to seek revenge.
You've come at last, William Morton. I knew you would.
Flesh and blood is out of sight. William Morton is out of sight.
Growing Pains.
And Guardian of the Abyss.
Daughter of darkness, the devil's disciple, through her Satan speaks. Using her earthly assets to gather new sheep, acting as the devil's own agent, manipulating men like pawns in the demon's own game. And when the prey has savored her sweet nectar, she moves in for the kill. He's now ripe for the picking, a perfect satanic sacrifice. The Guardian of the Abyss.
The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Jack Palance stars in Robert Louis Stevenson's classic story of the frustrated Dr. Jekyll's experimental study of a man's dual nature, the conflict between good and evil, and how as the wicked Mr. Hyde he terrorized 18th century London.
Dr. Jekyll, do you claim that this chemical concoction of yours is ready for experiment on humans? In your opinion, that is.
Yes, I do.
Billy Whitelaw stars as Gwyn, the woman who falls under Hyde's tormenting spell. From the producers of Dark Shadows, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
So stay with me.
I'll stay with you.
Well, that's a start anyway. And next time, I promise you the movie will be a little more realistic. I mean, really, doppelgangers and evil beings from another plane, I'm so sure. Why, that's totally ridiculous. Well, unpleasant dreams.